Good afternoon. I'm Amin Carlos and you're watching News on 2. Rumbau MP Khairi Jamaluddin said even though there were disagreement on the proclamation of the new Speaker of the Dewan Rakyat yesterday, the walkout by the opposition was not the right way to show their protest. Well, Khairi Jamaluddin and Kimanis MP Datuk Sri Hanifah Aman did not join their opposition colleagues in walking out and stayed on until the swearing-in of the MPs when Parliament convened for the first time yesterday following the 14th general election.
Hari ini hari untuk kita mengangkat sumpah. Jadi kita perlu menghormati Dewan dan juga menghormati majlis mengangkat sumpah. Ya. Cara macam mana kita nak bantah itu boleh kita buat sewaktu perbahasan nanti ataupun selepas upacara perasmian pembukaan Parlimen.
He further added that Barisan Nasional should portray an image of an opposition with integrity. Barisan Nasional (BN) MPs led by opposition leader Datuk Sri Dr. Ahmad Zahid Hamidi and PAS MPs staged the walkout to show protest over the process of choosing retired Court of Appeal Judge Dato Muhammad Arif Yusof as the new Speaker of the Dewan Rakyat.
The committee investigating governance, procurement and finance met for the first time yesterday to begin its probe into projects under the Ministry of Defence. And according to its chairman, former Auditor General Tan Sri Amrin Buang, the investigation will focus on several suspicious procurements and purchases of assets at the request of its Minister Muhammad Sabu.
Tan Sri Amrin said, aside from conducting investigations, the committee is also responsible to advise the government on how to ensure effective procurement and prevent leakages, but will not encroach the functions of the Auditor General's department.
Bidang kuasa kita luas ya. Sungguh pun kita telah diminta untuk kita memulakan dengan Kementerian Pertahanan, bukan bermakna kementerian lain tidak di bawah bidang kuasa ini. Jadi kita akan berbincang kementerian mana yang lain yang patut kita berdasarkan maklumat yang disampaikan kepada kita lah.
The Cabinet on May 30th had approved the setting up of the committee to investigate the issues of governance, procurement and finance in ministries and agencies.
The reintroduction of the Sales and Services Tax, also known as SST, in August this year will see its rate set at 10% for sales and 6% for services. And Finance Minister Lim Guan Eng said the SST bill will be brought to Parliament for approval next month.
Lim said the reintroduction of SST is following the recent abolishment of the Goods and Services Tax. He added apart from bringing in extra revenue for the government, SST is expected to compensate for the loss of 21 billion ringgit revenue from the zero rating of GST, which was implemented in June this year.
In contrast, the reintroduction of SST, Sales and Services Tax, rising crude oil prices and extra dividends from GLCs will bring in an extra 15 billion ringgit revenue for the federal government in 2018.
Lim said the government is confident it can still keep the fiscal position in balance from other revenue sources. Lim is convinced that this can be maintained as the government has been able to manage the country's financial situation without the GST for the past 3 months. He said this at the National Tax Conference 2018 in Kuala Lumpur. Meanwhile, commenting on the 1MDB scandal, Lim said the government is committed in its effort to settle the 1.3 billion ringgit payment it has to make to various creditors by the end of this year. He added that this amount is on top of the 7 billion ringgit worth of payments made so far. Lim said the 1MDB scandal is costing the government a total of 50 billion ringgit.
You know, altogether 50 billion, no? Just 1MDB alone. So this is actually a very small portion of it. So don't say that there's no 1MDB scandal. People say, oh, 1MDB hanya kita cakap-cakap saja. No, we got to pay 50 billion just on one MDB scandal. What about the other scandals related to 1MDB? Banyak lagi.
He added the government has been bailing out 1MDB since April 2017.
The Pulau Pinang government is committed to be the first state in Malaysia to have 100% light-emitting diode or LED street lighting by 2020. And State Housing, Local Government, Urban and Rural Planning Committee Chairman Jagdeep Singh Dio said this was part of efforts to fulfill the promises made in the 14th General Election G14 manifesto to install over 20,000 streetlights in the state.
Jagdeep said the replacement of these lights will not only involve those maintained by the local authorities, but also the ones managed by Tenaga Nasional Berhad. The Pulau Pinang Island City Council, which maintains over 16,000 street lights on the island, has so far replaced 7,135 street lights with LED lights, while another 9,501 street lights will be replaced by May next year. As for the mainland, a total of 12,376 street lights will be replaced with LED lights beginning this month.
Makluman semua, dengan adanya LED, ada banyak benda positif yang kita dapat nikmati. Dan antara lain adalah kita akan nikmati satu penjimatan hampir 60%. Kita akan jimat kos pembayaran bil elektrik hampir 60%. Dan itu juga akan menunjukkan satu prestasi baik dari segi pentadbiran kewangan kita.
Jagdeep said this after chairing the local government council meeting in Georgetown.
Well, coming up, Koperasi Angkatan Tentera aims to be third co-op bank. Well, members of the public will be able to witness the longest total lunar eclipse in the 21st century on July 28th this year. A National Space Agency, or Angkasa, Deputy Director General Samsudin Omar, in a statement said the eclipse is the second phenomenon to take place in Malaysia and will last for 1 hour, 42 minutes and 57 seconds. Well, Samsudin said the lunar eclipse can be witnessed from many places in the country, including Kota Kinabalu, Kuching, Kuala Terengganu, Johor Bahru, Kuala Lumpur, Alor and Langkawi. And this, however, depends on the weather condition in these areas. In this particular eclipse, the moon will pass through the central part of the Earth's umbral shadow. In conjunction with the phenomenon, the Langkawi National Observatory will be organizing various activities such as observation activity, eclipse prayer, moon eclipse briefing, and the question and answer sessions, July 28th. The Koperasi Angkatan Tentera Malaysia, Berhad, or KATMB, a cooperative organization for military personnel and officers in the Defense Ministry, is optimistic that it will be the country's third cooperative bank after Bank Rakyat and Bank Persatuan, and its chairman, Major General retired Dato' Zulkifli Mazlan, said it is prepared to become a financial institution soon after it received the approval from the Malaysian Cooperative Commission and also Bank Negara.
We are hoping to be a cooperative bank, and we got very good advice from Tan Sri Zati. Our plan is still on the move, and we await from the higher authority, the regulators, on the outcome of all this, and we submit ourselves to the regulators' decision.
Dato' Zulkifli said this after a meeting with the Council of Eminent Persons at Menara Ilham in Kuala Lumpur. KATMB in 2017 acquired a total of 2.97 billion ringgit in financing assets and 1.42 billion ringgit through fees and shares contributions. Dato' Zulkifli said KATMB has sufficient liquidity to become a full-fledged cooperative bank with a focus on army personnel, which is expected to be within the content of Development Financial Institution.
The cashless payment innovation used by non-profit organization My Kasih Foundation needs to be reviewed to speed up aid payments and at the same time reduce cost. And commenting further on this, Deputy Prime Minister Dato' Sri Dr. Wan Azizah Wan Ismail said the main purpose of the review is to find more ways to implement and improve the quality of service delivery.
The Deputy Premier, who is also Women, Family and Community Development Minister, said the innovation process is the foundation of spending wisely, and this requires the creativity and involvement of the process owners to identify opportunities for improvement. She also said that feedback from customers is also important to identify those opportunities. Dato Sri Dr. Wan Aziza also noted that she had asked the Ministry's Secretary General, Dr. Rose Lina Lazemi, to review the matter.
Kita perlu mencari penjimatan melalui inovasi proses untuk menjimatkan perbelanjaan serta mengurangkan masa melaksanakan proses. Ini harus dilakukan serentak dengan usaha meningkatkan kualiti perkhidmatan.
Dato Sri Dr. Wan Aziza said this during the Ministry's monthly gathering in Putrajaya.
The Sultan of Perak, Sultan Nazrin Shah, has opened Southeast Asia's first telegraph museum in Taipei, Perak yesterday. An opening of the Telegraph Museum also marked a historical moment for Yayasan Telekom Malaysia, YTM, after the opening of the Telecom Museum, also known as the National Telecommunications Museum in Kuala Lumpur in 1994. Well, the museum showcases more than 100 artifacts on display and also serve as a place to obtain information about the history of the telegraph communication system since the 18th century and its contribution to the country up till 2012. Well, another interesting artifact on display at the museum was an 1870s submarine cable, which was the first in the world using materials from the Gutta Percha tree extract. And admission to the Telegraph Museum are priced at 8 ringgit for adults, 5 ringgit for children, and 15 ringgit for non-citizens. Meanwhile, in conjunction with the launch, Telekom Malaysia Berhad has collaborated with Post Malaysia to issue a collection of limited edition stamps featuring the museum, which can be purchased at 50 ringgit 80 cent each. Former national football coach Chow Kwai Lam passed away yesterday due to old age. The respected coach, who was a former national footballer, died at 11 a.m. at the Ampang Putri Hospital, surrounded by family members, and he was 76.
Chow was one of the big names in Malaysian football as he represented the national team from 1965 to 1971 and captained the 1965 Merdeka tournament squad. Chow was appointed national coach in 1978 before moving on to coach Selangor from 1979 to 1983. He then moved to coach Sarawak in 1984 and Kuala Lumpur in 3 occasions, 1987, 1989, 1992 and 1995 to 1998. His most successful stint as a coach in the Malaysian League was when he guided the Kuala Lumpur team to a Malaysia Cup hat-trick, 1 league title and the Community Shield. He also had the opportunity to coach in the Singapore League with Tampines Rovers from 2002 to 2003 and Paya Lebar Punggol from 2004 to 2005.
Afternoon's edition of News on 2. In our top story, investigation committee to probe alleged Defence Ministry misappropriation. Well, News on 2 will come on again at 7 this evening with more updates. Until then, I'm Carlos, and thanks for watching. Happy Tuesday.